Well, hello, everybody in District 7850. It's great to welcome you to this June edition of Ask the District. And this question that we're going to deal with arose, a woman within our district sent me an email and asked about women in Rotary. When was the first woman brought into Rotary, the first woman in our district, I believe she was asking. And that may have had something to do with the fact that in just a month, we are going to be welcoming Jennifer Jones, the first woman president of Rotary International. So my guest today with me to help parse this all out for you all is Alona Tate from the Barrie Rotary Club. Alona, take a second to just give people a little idea of who you are and what you do.
Sure. Hi, my name is Alona Tate with the Barrie Rotary Club. I first met the Barrie Rotary in June of 2020. I had reached out to their club and asked if I could talk to them about kids in foster care in Vermont. At the time, I was working for the Department of Children and Families, and I was working with foster families, and I wanted to just give a presentation and invite the Rotary to help me support kids who are in foster care. That meeting, I didn't realize then, but it was kind of special because a lot really came out of it. There was an idea that we kind of started talking about, and the Rotary really ran with the idea and helped me to create this project, which is, we're calling it the Foster Parent Closet. And we had people who were so well connected in the community, they were able to get me a Barrie downtown storefront property.
Wow.
They were able to get materials, talent, time donated to turn this rustic old building into a space that we can use to store donated clothing, toys, books, bikes, you name it, for kids who do come into custody. I will also say, prior to my presentation at the Rotary, I worked internationally as a human trafficking attorney on an island called Pompeii in the Federated States of Micronesia.
Really?
So this was kind of how it's a pretty remote part of the world, but that was kind of how I started. So in any case, we had this project and it was great. We were really jazzed about it. I had a lot of support from the Rotary. And anything I asked for, they've really tried to support me in a lot of ways, not just getting this space up and running, but individual Rotarians came through with donations of money to help me send kids to camp or whatever the needs were. So it was really wonderful, that initial meeting.
So how could you not join Rotary after that, right?
Well, I didn't, but one of the members, I would say she's very persuasive. Yes. And she invited me to come back and join everyone for lunch. And I will say she persuaded me to become a Rotarian. And so that is kind of how that happened. So we continue to find ways to support kids in our community, and other broader projects that we've done with Rotary have also supported that cause. So it's been really exciting.
Well, neat. And I can see why perhaps that person said, hey, to help us explore this question, Alona would be great because she's an attorney as well, and we may be dealing with legal matters. So here's the deal, and I'll turn it over to you, Alona. So my understanding is that a Rotary Club it admitted some women into its club, which was at the time against the rules that Rotary had in its constitution. Rotary tried to clamp down, and those aren't legal terms, I realize, clamp down on this club. And then we got ourselves into court. So help us to just navigate some of that and what it all eventually ended up doing for women and opening that door for them.
Sure, yes, we can kind of explain what that court case was that really had an impact on how Rotary operates today. And it stems from a case that was filed in 1977. After the Duarte, California Rotary had admitted 3 women into their club, at which time the Rotary International had a conversation with Duarte Rotary that women in Rotary was against the Rotary Constitution. The Duarte chapter chose to, I guess, kind of go rogue and disregard that Rotary Constitution element, at which point the Rotary International basically kicked out the Duarte Club from being part of the Rotary International. So after an internal hearing, the International Board of Directors revoked the charter of the Duarte Club and terminated its membership in Rotary International. The Duarte Club first appealed to the International Convention, and that appeal was unsuccessful.
Okay, but then they went to court.
That's right. Yep. So at that time, the Duarte Club and the 2 of the women members filed a complaint in the California Superior Court for the County of Los Angeles that alleged that the appellant's actions violated the UNRWA Civil Rights Act. Appellees sought to enjoin International from enforcing its restrictions against admitting women members and revoking the Duarte Club's charter or compelling delivery of the charter to any representative International. After a bench trial, the court concluded that neither Rotary International nor the Duarte Club was a business establishment within the meaning of the UNRWA Act. The court recognized that some individual Rotarians derive sufficient business advantage from Rotary to warrant deduction of Rotarian expenses to income tax collections and warrant payment of those payments to employers. But those business benefits are incidental to the principal purpose of the association, which is to promote fellowship of the association, to promote fellowship and service activities, right? The court also found that Rotary clubs do not provide their members with goods, services, or facilities. And then on the basis of that findings and conclusions, the court entered judgment for Rotary International.
Okay.
At that point, so they appealed and went to the California Court of Appeal, and they held that both Rotary International and the Duarte Club are business establishments subject to the provisions of the UNRWA Act. Business embraces everything about which one can be employed, and an establishment includes not only a fixed location, but also a permanent commercial force or organization. So let's see, where did we?
So the appeals folks said, no, you got it wrong. This is a business. It does fall under the act. So these women do have some standing, and the club to come back and say, no, women should be admitted to Rotary from our point of view, correct?
Yep, that's right. The Court of Appeal rejected the trial court's findings that the Duarte Club does not provide goods, services, or facilities to its members. In particular, the court noted that members receive copies of the Rotary magazine and numerous other Rotary publications. They're entitled to wear the Rotary emblem, and they may attend conferences that teach managerial and professional techniques.
Yep.
They also held that membership in Rotary International or the Duarte Club does not give rise to continuous personal and social relationship that takes place more or less outside the public view. So really the question before the court is whether or not we're considering Rotary as a private entity, which the First Amendment and the UNRWA Act would not apply to, or does this have a broader implication to the general public? Yes, it takes place more or less outside the public view. That view was rejected. So that court ordered appellants to reinstate the Duarte Club as a member of Rotary International and permanently enjoin them from enforcing or attempting to enforce the gender requirement against the Duarte Club. The California Supreme Court denied appellants' petition for review. This case did go to the United States Supreme Court, which is where this decision came from. I'll back up a bit actually to the Rotary International is a nonprofit corporation that was founded in 1905.
Yes.
So I know we had talked about how old was Rotary, so I'm just plugging that in there. And the United States Supreme Court said that even if the UNRRA Act does work some slight infringement on Rotary members' right of expressive association, that infringement is justified because it serves the state's compelling interest in eliminating discrimination against women. Appellants also argued that the act was unconstitutionally vague and overbroad, and the United States Supreme Court said that those contentions were not properly presented to the court.
So in 1987, right, that's when the Supreme Court said, aha, the appellates got it right. Duarte gets their charter back. The women can be admitted to membership in Rotary, which kind of then, as I'm reading things over on another screen, compelled Rotary International to put its house in order, which 2 years later, the Council on Legislation and other entities rewrote things so that in 1989, women were granted full open membership to Rotary. Is that one way to describe it? Not legally,
right.
but
yes. They also, I'm not finding the exact language right now. I might because it was so juicy, but basically they were saying that restricting Rotary to men really gave them an advantage of interacting with other groups that had different social mores. But the court also noted that women are permitted to attend meetings, give speeches, receive awards, and form auxiliary organizations. So their argument really didn't seem to hold a lot of weight.
It really wasn't an exclusive men's club because all this other auxiliary activity involved women and they were there and doing things.
Right.
Yeah, get it. All right. They got it right. So the question then became, following on the fact that, yes, in 1989, the door was open, yay, we're much better for it. So the question, I think that the person who brought this whole thing to my attention said, so who was the first? And we think, okay, we're not being held to it, right, Alona? We are not being held to this. This is a good story that we think is true. So you people out there in District 7850 land need to let me know whether we got this right. That Barrie Rotary Club, on like the stroke of midnight, when it was finally officially allowed that in '89 that women be admitted to Rotary, inducted their first woman member into their club. So that's the story we're going with. It's a great story. It's a great ending. But others of you may know other stories, and I would be happy to get that information and get it out to all of our clubs to be able to celebrate, I think appropriately, when Jennifer becomes our president on July 1st. I think we want to lift up all the women in particular who have come into our life as Rotarians and who are present now side by side with us doing this work of serving to change lives. So Alona, you did magnificent research. Thank you so much. I know that's a part of your everyday life as an attorney. I imagine you're researching, but thank you so much for giving us the, not the overkill details, but enough detail for us to realize what was at stake with this conversation as this made its way through the courts. And I'm glad they got it right, in my view, ultimately. Any
think
closing
also
thought or
too-
word? Yeah, please.
Sure, yeah, if I can just kind of put my own little spin on it. I think it's important to acknowledge the number of women in Rotary who do hold leadership positions right now. So not only was it to admit women to participate, but as that happens, that we saw substantial changes for the benefit of Rotary as women became leaders of the club. So I just want to put that in there too.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're enjoying the benefits of that leadership here in this district in a lot of ways. Absolutely. So, well, thank you, Alona. If I get more questions about this, who knows, we may need to revisit this again and continue to explore, but it was great having you on Ask the District for this month. And friends, that's a wrap for this month. Have a great rest of the month of June. And Alona, thank you again for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Bye. Bye for now.
Okay, bye.